What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back for another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Infinite Fusion and today's challenge we cannot beat Pokemon Infinite Fusion using only Salamence Fusion Pokemon. So the idea of this video, you guys do not know, I'm running through Infinite Fusion using only a specific type of fusion Pokemon. So I'm going to use Salamence as a base Pokemon and I have to fuse other Pokemon into Salamence to make it a new Pokemon. To make this even harder, there's going to be permadeath. That's why there's a death counter on top of my party. However, permadeath is only on when I fight the gym leaders in the game. Permadeath's not on the field, and obviously it's not going to be on in the Elite Four because I can't really switch on my Pokemon. But if my Pokemon do faint, I have to unfuse them and to get a new Pokemon with Salamence. So that's how we get new forms of Pokemon to make it more enjoyable for you guys. And as always, we're going to play on modern mode and also the hardest difficulty in Infinite Fusion. And as well, on top of that, we can't use items inside a battle. We can use hell items, but we can't use bag items like potions or whatever. That should pretty much sum up everything. A fun rule for everyone. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. So thanks so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while it's down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. I have a sore throat. I'm complaining about a sore throat in the summer. Fortunately, I have to wake up and go to a dentist appointment really early in the morning. So I'm really worried about my mouth being messed up, so I couldn't do a commentary, so I have to wake up and do a commentary real quick. But anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. So to begin off, our first Pokemon is gonna be a legendary Pokemon, but it's gonna be fine. You know, it's just a fun little Pokemon to use. It's gonna be Salamence, which is gonna be Palkia and Salamence as my starter Pokemon. And you might think that's a little broken, but it looks cool. And I also lose my first fight. It's a water flying Pokemon, and unfortunately our rival got the one thing that I'm weak to, which is gonna be electric. So Lope Fire actually knocks out my Pokemon on his first battle. It's not really a good start, but I know Pokemon is gonna be a great Pokemon. After that tragic loss, we can go out and capture a bunch of random Pokemon. Now you'll see why that's important in a little bit. The reason for that is once I get a full party, I'ma do a little cheat engine modifying so I can get some Bagons. So it's easier for me to get a Bagon early on in the game, and also I gave myself a Charmander because I need a starter Pokemon because this gonna be a cool fusion I gotta do with Bagon and Charmander to get myself a Chargon. And from there we're gonna start training up our Pokemon, especially our Chargon. Chargon's easy to level up. My Pokemon is a legendary and pseudo legendary combined, so of course they can gain XP way slower than obviously a starter Pokemon. So I'm easily able to gain a lot of levels on my Chargon as I move out and face up against the first gym leader in the game. We're gonna face off against Brock first. Brock's not a rock type, generally it's just the first gym leader. He's gonna start the battle off against us using a Shroomiard, which I still have a Chargon, but it's evolved into a Charmeleon, which I'm able to easily go for an Ember and knock out the Shroomiard. His next Pokemon is going to be a Steve Jr., which Mudslap doesn't do a lot of damage to him, but it's always about the accuracy drop. He's going to actually force me out as he gets me out to low HP, so I'm forced to go out into my Pokemons, which Pokemons just destroys the Steve Jr. 2 shots into him, easily destroy Brock, and now we can move on into Mount Moon, which we're able to clear through easily because Water Posts on Palkia basically is really broken. This thing's really strong, and you'd be surprised that its physical attack is actually higher, but I don't really have any moves that complement its physical attacking. It learns too many special moves. From there, we're gonna move past Mount Moon and go into the Nugget Bridge, clear through the Nugget Bridge, get a bunch of XP for us, and once we get enough XP, we also get ourselves a Citrus Berry, which we're gonna attach to our Pokemons. And from there, we're going to face off against the second gym in the game. We're going to face off against Misty. Misty's the second gym leader in the game. She's going to start the battle off against us using a Glarogue. Now, this Glarogue isn't actually that big of a deal as I'm able to go for a Fire Fang with my Chargon. Chargon's able to one-shot the Glarogue. And then from there, she's going to switch out into her Manrus, which is water and ice, I think, which is interesting. I could go for a Rock Tomb, and does a lot of damage to it, but I'm kind of scared. It's going to use a Bubble Beam and crit me and kill me, so I decided to move out into my Pokemons, which has a Citrus Berry in the back. I also have Power Gem as a move, so I'm able to just Power Gem down the Manrus. 3 Power Gems will be able to knock out the Manrus, as I actually didn't need a Citrus Berry, but it was nice insurance to have it, as we're able to beat down the Manrus pretty easily, get ourselves the second gym badge, and now we're going to move out into the SSN. We're going to clear through the SSN pretty easily, and from there we can get the Captain's Key, get the HM for cut. Also, we can go into Diglett's Cave, and now we have to search out for a Beldum for our next Pokemon. Beldum's going to be a very interesting Pokemon, interesting fusion. Unfortunately, we didn't find them in Diglett's Cave. There is actually a better way to find Beldums. You go back into Mount Moon and you Rock Smash around, and eventually this is a 20% encounter rate, and you're able to find yourselves a Beldum. We didn't catch it this attempt with my Pokemons because this thing has pressure as the ability. So obviously I had to restart, switch out my Pokemons and then capture the Beldum for real this time. And then from there we can mix it. From there we can fuse it with my Bagon, give ourselves a Belgon, and from there we can move on and face off against Lieutenant Surge. Lieutenant Surge is going to be the 3rd gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him. Accidentally, as you can see, I pressed Pokemons and then my controller drifted. I had Joy-Con drift on my controller and it just drifted all the way down to confirm without entering anyone else besides my Pokemons, which is so terrible. So Pokemon's the only Pokemon. I'm like, don't lose this fight. Pokemon's is pretty strong on his own. I start the battle off against his Noseky using my Pokemons, Dragon Breath into him, hoping for a Paralyze, but he doesn't do a lot of damage to me, so we're able to 2-shot him with Dragon Breath and Water Pulse. From there, he's going to switch out to his Houndblade, which goes for a quick attack, and I survive it easily. As from there, I just go for Dragon Breaths against him, I paralyzed him, and from there, I'm able to Water Pulse twice into him and knock him out, which is, okay, we knock out the Houndblade, and his final Pokemon will be a Fletch and Chop, which is a Fire type. I'm able to Water Pulse and knock him out in one shot, as we're able to beat down Lieutenant Surge, and now we can move on into Rock Tunnel, which in Rock Tunnel, we're able to clear 3 easily, and then go out into Route 7. We're able to catch ourselves a Slakoth and also a Sandshrew. I don't think anyone's ever caught a Sandshrew in this game. We're able to catch ourselves a Sandshrew. We're going to start fusing them together. We get a Back Off and a Bat Slash when we evolve our Sandshrew. From there, we can face off against Giovanni next in the Celadon Sewers, and we have to clear through it pretty easily. As you can see, yep, Pokemon's always clutching up, just barely surviving. And of course, from there, we're going to move on and face off against Celadon City's gym leader. We're going to face off against Erica next. Erica is the 4th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her Type-Ter using my Pokemons. I gotta stop using Pokemons. Pokemon is just like the best Pokemon in the game. I gotta use someone else, but everyone's not fully evolved. But anyways, we're able to Power Gym and knock out a Type-Ter in one shot. From there, I forgot Galvantron was an electric type, so I really risked everything here, as Power Gym does not kill Galvantron, and then he goes for Electro Ball. Lucky enough, he's not faster than me. I'm able to survive it pretty easily, and then from there, I go for Power Gym once again against the Butter Guys, as we're able to just 2-shot it. We're in Spatial Ren, which is a crazy move. I love Spatial Ren. I'm not even a Dragon type. I'm just going to keep Spatial Ren. From there, she can switch out into her Galvantron, and we're able to 1-shot it easily, beat down Erica, and also move out into the next portion of the game. Now we get ourselves to Pokeflute, and also go out into this side, activate Janine, which we're going to get Strength later from her in Fuchsia City, and from there we can go into Cycling Road on the opposite side of the map, and also get ourselves a Clink, which is going to be really powerful. Once we capture this Clink, we start evolving everything. As you can see, I get myself a Clinkmans, which is a crazy looking Pokemon. From there, we also get ourselves a Salaslash, which is crazy looking as well. This is why I want a Sandslash. We're also going to get ourselves at the end a Charmants, which is very cool looking, very powerful looking. From there, we're going to face off against Koga next. Koga is going to be the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to start off, we get 4 Pokemon, so of course we're going to have our Pokemons as the front. We're going to start the battle off against the Zora Nucleus using my, I don't know why I use Pokemons, and then switch out into my Clinkmans. From there, I go out into my Clinkmans just to go for Gear Grinds, eventually knock out the Zora Nucleus. From there, he's going to switch out to his Weeflame. So I decided to go out into my Salaslash. My Salaslash is able to go for a Dragon Claw into him, and it's able to take a lot of moves. Apparently, Sandslash is very tanky. Also, I think I lower his attack stat using Intimidate. But from there, I can switch out into my Salaking, which I'm able to just go for Headbutts against the Haunchvor, which is pretty easy. And from there, his final Pokemon will be his actual Umtera, which I'm able to go for a Headbutt and then take a Crunch easily, slack off all the damage. He makes me go to sleep with Yawn, which is annoying, so I gotta switch out into my Pokemons. And it's actually the only battle in this so far that I've shown that Pokemons wasn't the star. So Pokemon goes to sleep, I switch back into my Salaking, and Salaking will be able to knock out the Umtera pretty easily. As we're able to beat down Koga, we go into Silph Co next, which we're able to clear through our rival and then face off against Giovanni once again, beat down Giovanni, and now we can move on and face off against Sabrina. Sabrina is going to be the 6th gym leader in the game. We could bring 4 Pokemons to her, so we're going to start the battle off against her using, obviously, my Pokemons, because she starts off with a Sylveotion. Now I go for a Surf immediately and 1-shot her, so it's pretty free. From there, she's going to switch out into a Drift Roll, which I go out into my Metaments, which looks pretty ugly. Unfortunately, I did not get the Sprite Pack for it, so Unfortunately, that didn't work out for me. I missed a meteor match because it was so ugly, but I landed a second one, and Driftwell is barely living on. I gotta switch out though. I switch out into my Clinkmans, which is able to gear grind and knock out the Driftwell. From there, you can switch out into a Maricue, which I switched out into my Pokemons. One Surf would knock out the Maricue, and then from there, you can switch out into a Clefix, which 2 Surfs would knock her out. I get Poison, but that's not enough turns, as we're able to beat down Clefix and also beat down Sabrina. And now we can move on with our 6th gym badge. We're going to move out into Cinnabar Island and then go into Cinnabar Island's gym. Blaine gym is pretty easy. We get all the answers right, of course. And then we're going to face off against Blaine himself. Blaine is the 7th gym leader in the game, and we can only still bring 4 Pokemon to him. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Charmants. We're able to one-shot the Klinkfrig, but it has a Focus Sash, so we got to restart. Eventually, we're just going to waste all his full restores, and then we're able to knock out the Klinkfrig. His next Pokemon will be a Xano, which he go for a Flamethrower for some reason, but he goes for Store Power. So, I mean, I guess it works out as I'm able to crunch and knock out the Xano. From there, he switches out into his Allosaur, which I assume I was going to be able to knock him out. But unfortunately, I go for a Flamethrower and he lives it. And then he's going to go for a Psychic and he barely not kills me. I'm at 1 HP exactly. I'm like, ooh, that was very close. So Flamethrower would knock out the Allosaur, but his next Pokemon will be a Togen Nucleus. So, yeah, too close of a call. I decided to switch out into my Salaking. Salaking's able to go for Headbutts. You know, Headbutt is just a stab move for this. And it's also very fast, so 3 Headbutts would knock out the Togen Nucleus for us as we're able to beat down Blaine. So, unfortunately for Blaine. So from there, we're going to face off against the Zap Mokuno, which isn't too difficult. We knock out the Articuno head, so my Charmants goes down, but my Salaking will actually clutch up, knock out the last 2 remaining heads pretty easily, and from there, we're able to beat down the Zap Mokuno. We don't catch Moltres, obviously, and then from there, we're going to move on and face off against the final gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Giovanni. Now, we can bring 5 Pokemons off against Giovanni, so we're going to start the battle off against him using my Klinkmans. Klinkman's able to go for a Shift Gear in front of the Ketgon, or it's actually a Zoshin. So we're able to go for a Gear Grind and knock out the Zoshin. From there, you can switch out to his Porylurk, which I really risk it with Gear Grind here, but we're able to knock out the Porylurk. From there, you can switch out to his Kukin, which I could have stayed in, but I decided to switch out into Diablo. I switched out into my Pokemons, which serve 1-shots the Kukin. His next Pokemon will be a Smeargar, which goes for Fake Out and then Spores me. Super annoying Pokemon. I then go out into my Metaments, which also gets Spored and Hexed. So from there, I keep forgetting that I have a Normal type in the back. But I'm able to go out into my Salaslash, which also gets Spored eventually. Super annoying. I eventually go out into my Salaking, which is able to force him out into his Ketgon, which I'm able to wake up and also Dragon Claw to knock out in 1 shot. From there, his final Pokemon will be his Smeargar, which is the only move he could use is Destiny Bond, because Hex would not work on me, and I just have to waste all the Destiny Bonds. Eventually I do, and I'm able to outspeed him with the Rock Tomb and Dragon Claw to knock him out, and we're able to beat down Giovanni pretty easily. From there, we can move on into Victory Road, which is a pretty easy Kanto puzzle. Actually, as a kid, I struggle a lot on these puzzles. The string puzzles used to be the hardest thing in the world for me, so I hated them. Lucky enough, it's still a pattern, and but it's not too difficult at all as well. So lucky enough, I've grown up. That's the moral of the story. From there, we can move out past Victory Road into the Pokemon League, and now once we're in the Pokemon League, we can do our final shopping and also head into the Elite Four itself. We're going to do a quick little rundown of our team and then move on and face off against Lorelei. Lorelei is going to be the first Elite Four member in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Klinkmans against her Paulillion. I'm going to go for a Shift Gear against her. Take a Bubble Beam, but you know, I know the routine. She's going to go for a Bubble Beam and knock me out. So I decided to go for an Earthquake immediately and knock her out. Her next Pokemon will be a Swampert, which I go for an Earthquake. Doesn't actually kill, so Waterfall will kill me. So Klinkmans goes down, unfortunately. Looking up, Permadeath is not on anymore as we clear through all the gyms. So we go out into my Pokemons, which I go for a Surf for some reason. Not the brightest play, but Earthquake following that would knock him out. And then from there, you can switch out into his Kingdrio. Kingdrio, I thought it was going to be a Dragon type. It was not. So we're going to waste 2 Spatial Runs right here to knock out the Kingdrio. From there, you can switch out into a Gyaraku, which I go for a Surf, which, okay, another bad choice as my Pokemons will go down. Also give it Moxie Boost. And now from there, I gotta be careful of what I use. I decided to switch out into my Metaments, which works out as Meteor Mash would knock out the Gyaraku. And also the Spirit Miku goes down in 3 shots from my Metaments. Unfortunately, Malatina would knock me out, but I do have an answer for this in the back. I go out into my Charments, which is able to go for a Dragon Claw and 2-shot it, as we're able to survive a Hydro Pump, and we're able to beat down Lorelei pretty easily. Now from there, we're going to face off against Bruno next. Bruno's the second Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against his Tyrannoflame using my Pokemons, which is able to surf into him as he U-turns. He don't even want to set up Stealth Rocks. He switched out to his Cray, which I'm going to go for an Earthquake and 1-shot it. This thing's powerful. From there, he's going to switch out to his Octostar. I'm going to go for a Power Gem to break his Focus Sash and an Earthquake into him. Unfortunately, he gets Defense Boost, which is like the worst timing for that. But eventually, I'm able to still 2-shot him with the defense drop with Moody, and we're able to knock out the Octostar. His next opponent will be his Armor Types, which I was really confident of knocking out in 1 shot. Unfortunately, I don't, but this shows you how Armor Types is not a threat at all. As we're able to go out into my Clinkments next, we're able to go for a Shift Gear and then Gear Grind just to knock out the Armor Types pretty easily. It really has X-Scissor as his only best move against me. We're able to beat down the Armor Types. Bruno's next opponent will be a Probodon, and since I already had tons of Shift Gear up, I'm able to go for an Earthquake and knock out the Probodon pretty easily. And from there, he's going to switch out into his Tyrannoflame. I knock him out in 1 shot. And his final opponent will be a Marauder, which I'm going to go for an Earthquake and basically knock him out. So Dragon Claw will finish him off as we're able to beat down Bruno pretty easily. Now from there, we're going to move on and face off against Agatha. Agatha is the 3rd Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Clinkments, which we're able to go for a Shift Gear. I knew I couldn't get poisoned from this, so I wasn't too worried. Unfortunately, it started using Minimize, so now I'm worried. Unfortunately, I'm missing a bunch of Gear Grinds, which will 1-shot it, and I decided to go for an Earthquake. Almost 1-shot it as that Focus Sash is going to heal up, but the second Earthquake will hit and it's going to knock out the Clef Raid. From there, he's going to switch out into a Chatterbok, which I 1-shot as well. The next Pokemon after that will be a Crowrose, which I could have actually knocked out with an Earthquake, but I gave its only KO of my channel as Crowrose knocks out my Clinkments. From there, I switched out into my Salaking, which is able to go for a Headbutt against the Crowrose. 2 Headbutts would knock him out. From there, he's going to switch out to his Umzing, which I'm able to just continue headbutting. I unfortunately go down to the Poison, which I let it set up. It's unfortunate, but I go out to my Metaments, which is able to go for a Meteor Mash. Umzing goes down. Duskplume comes out. I'm looking for an attack boost against all these Pokemon, but unfortunately, I don't get one. I knock out the Duskplume, as her final Pokemon will be a Mo, which I go for a Meteor Mash again. She's going to go for a Sacred Fire. It's going to burn me and all. It's getting annoying. I get an attack boost at the end when my Metaments is going to go down, which is super annoying. But from there, I don't know why I'm looking at my summary. I eventually go out to Reliable. I go out to my Pokemons, even though it's like very specially defensive Muck and Ho-Oh, I'm able to go for 2 Surfs and knock out the Mo pretty easily. So actually we'll take that definitely. As we're ready to beat down Agatha, and now we're going to move on into the final Elite Four member of the game before the champion. We're going to face off against Lance next. Lance is getting specialized in flying type Pokemon, so we're going to start the battle off against him using someone we haven't used at all, basically. We're going to start the battle using my Salaslash, which is going to face off against the Togaflame. And I went for Rock Tomb and don't take a Moonblast at all, so that's unfortunate. Rock Tomb looks like he's getting 2-shot, but it low rolls and Togaflame lives and knocks out my Salaslash, which is so unfortunate. It will get something good. I promise there will be a good day for him. I move on into my Charmants, which is able to go for a Heat Wave and knock out the Dewbat in 1 shot. From there, he's going to switch out into his Dark Knight, which I forgot it's a Dragon type, so that was a bad play, as my Charmants will go down. From there, I'm going to switch out into my Salaking. Salaking's able to outspeed Dragon Claw 1 shot the Dark Knight. From there, he's going to switch out to his Togaflame, which I go for a Headbutt. 2 Headbutts will knock out the Togaflame pretty easily. From there, I take a Sky Attack from the Septidactyl, which doesn't do any damage at all. And from there, I'm able to Rock Tomb and just knock out the Septidactyl pretty easily. From there, he's going to switch out into his Agements, which I go for a Rock Tomb, but unfortunately, he's going to knock me out with an Outrage. But I still have, I don't know why I switched out into my Pokemons. I still had a Steel type in the back. But I decided to go for a Surf against the Agements, as eventually we're able to 2-shot into the Agements. And his final Pokemon will be a Shanamori, which we're able to go for a Surf. Oh, still 2-shot him, but I thought I was going to 1-shot him. But we're able to beat down Lance regardless, as we're ready to move on into the final battle of the game. We're going to face off against the champion of the game. We're going to face off against our rival. We're going to start the battle off against Blue using my Charmants against his Ninsharp. And lucky enough, we get a Flamethrower Burn, which is like the rarest thing in Flamethrower Burns. But we're able to knock out the Ninsharp in 1 turn, as you can see. From there, he's going to switch out to his Haxments, which I decided to switch out into any of my Steel types. I start out with my Metaments, which I'm able to go for a Dragon Claw against him. Unfortunately, it does not do a lot of damage. I'm here to go for a bullet punch. Following that, do a little bit more damage, but can knock out my Metamins. So now we're tied up 5-5. I'm gonna switch out into my Clinkmans, which takes an outrage, not too well, but still takes one. I'm gonna go for a Shift Gear and then Dragon Claw to knock out the Haxmans. His next Pokemon after that will be a Tortinion, which is, I believe, is Torterra and Infernape. I'm not too sure why it has Empoleon feature as well, but I'm gonna go for an Earthquake. Doesn't do a lot of damage. It's gave Flare Blitz and knock me out. So back again, 4 versus 4. From there, I'm gonna switch out into my Palkmans, which Palkmans is able to go for an Earthquake against him. I don't know what I was doing in this situation. I was going for Surfs and everything. I still have no idea what typing this Tortinion is, but Earthquake seems to do a lot of damage against him. I unfortunately take a Scald, which actually does a lot of damage, more than the Flare Blitz. But I'm going to go for a Spatial Rent, eventually knock out the Tortinion. From there, he's going to switch out to his Array, which I know it's an electric type, so I decided to switch out into anything that has Intimidate, which unfortunately my Clinkmans does not have. It has minus for some reason. I decided to switch out into my Salaslash, which has Intimidate, blocks the Thunder as well because it's ground type. From there, I go for a Rock Tomb to lower his speed, and then I go for an Earthquake against the Array. I barely take any damage against the Stone Edge, so surprisingly, Salaslash is the biggest counter against the strongest Pokemon in the game, Array. So we should just knock out Array pretty easily just with my Salaslash. From there, he's going to switch out into a Chandevile, which will obviously knock out my Salaslash, but he had a good run. I switch out into my Charmans next. He goes for a Trick, which obviously takes 4 years to activate. But eventually, I'm able to go for 2 Dragon Claws to knock out the Chandevile, which eventually will knock him out, and I don't get burned because I'm a Fire type. Finally, his last Pokemon will be a Reurion, which I go for a Heat Wave, looking for a burn. Dark Pulse would knock me out, which is surprising. So from there, I go out into my Salaking next. Salaking's able to go for Headbutts, and this battle should be over, which unfortunately it is not. It's getting 2-shot me as I knock him down to low HP and crits me with a Dark Pulse. So my Salaking goes down, but all reliable is in the back. Palkmans would not lose as I go for a Surf and knock out the Reurion as ready to beat down Blue and become the champion of Infinite Fusion. Even though it says 0 deaths, you can see my whole team's dead, but 0 deaths for the gym fights. Let's go, everyone. Anyways, that was pretty fun. I was really excited to use everyone. Unfortunately, I did not have the correct spite for Metaments, but I think everything else worked out pretty well. It's actually one of the better teams I had, even though it's just based around one Pokemon. So it's actually pretty fun. I think everyone looks pretty cool in the sprite, in my party sprite obviously, but everyone looks pretty cool. Let me know what your favorite Salamence fusion is in the comments, and let me know what other Pokemon you guys want to see in these species Infinite Fusion runs. Anyways, that'll be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name is Ben Alpha, and I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.